Capitol Hill police now arresting a Democratic intern allegedly posting the personal information of at least 3 Republican senators online. It happened during last week's Kavanaugh hearing. Fox News learned police that are now investigating at least 2 more incidents, one of them targeting Senator Rand Paul. Jason Chaffetz, former U.S. Congressman, Fox News contributor. How you doing? Good morning to you. How's an intern
Good morning,
do this?
Bill. Good morning.
27-year-old Jackson Costco? How's that happen?
It doesn't make sense because an unpaid intern working for 3 different senators doesn't smell right on the surface. But what's fascinating about this case is there are 7 different charges. Everything from identity theft, second-degree burglary, witness tampering. Where does witness tampering come into this? This is more than just stealing, Senator Mike Lee's personal information and posting it up to Wikipedia. There's something more here.
Well, I don't get it. Did the intern get the information or did someone give it to him? There's your question.
Well, again, I'm looking at the charges just like everybody else, but it sounds a little bit more sophisticated in the fact that how quickly they arrested this person and charged this person. And again, with 7 different charges out there, burglary, those types of things, it really does make it sound like it's a bit more sophisticated and widespread, because now you see Senator Rand Paul is also having issues. Don't know if it's tied to this particular case, but that would make at least 4 senators.
Okay, and they're all, well, we'll try and get to the bottom of that. Meanwhile, what is a skiff? What is this place in the U.S. Capitol where these senators can now go and look at the FBI report? You've been there. Describe it.
Yeah, it's a bunker. If you were smack dab in the middle of the Capitol, think of the dome, and you went down 3 or 4 floors, then there is literally a fortress. It's impenetrable to electronic surveillance. When you walk in, even as a senator or a member of the House of Representatives, you have to give up all of your electronics. You can't go in there with your iWatch. You can't go in there with your iPhone or whatever phone you might have. It put into a small room. They watch you. It'll be interesting to see if these senators are allowed to take notes. Sometimes you can and sometimes you don't, and usually they have somebody sitting there watching you read the material.
Interesting. So no pictures, so it's all extemporaneous if the leaks get out.
Supposedly, but yes. Yeah,
I expect to get leaks. I would imagine you would too. It's Washington, D.C. after all.
Yeah, I mean, people can read this information. It isn't necessarily classified because they're not talking about national security secrets, what has been, sources and methods. I'm sure senators will start to come out of there because they're only allowed 1 at a time in alternating fashion to go and read it. And I'm sure people come out and give their own take. And of course, the Democrats already have their talking points saying, well, it wasn't thorough enough. We need more time, more interviews. But that's not what the Senate set up.
I know you've kept in touch with your colleagues there in Washington, House side and Senate side. And I think about last Friday when, the record scratched in the afternoon and Senator Jeff Flake said, hang on, let's go ahead and give it another week. What's the harm? Here was that moment from last Friday.
I can only say that I would be only comfortable moving forward on the floor. I'll move it out of committee, but I will only be comfortable moving on the floor until the FBI has done more investigation than they have already.
Remember in that key line, he said up to a week. Tomorrow's 1 week. What does Flake do? What do the others do? Does Kavanaugh get confirmed?
Well, I was encouraged that Jeff Flake voted it out of committee, and I would anticipate that he would vote in favor of cloture, which is the important vote where they got to get past that 50-vote threshold. And part of the excuse here for the extra week was that it's tearing the committee and it's tearing the country apart. And that's why we need more time. And I would argue that had the exact opposite effect. It's creating more division in our country. Instead of the Senate doing its job and making a definitive decision, it's their job to do advice and consent, not to throw it back to the executive branch saying, hey, give us some more input after 6 FBI investigations. It's almost as if they need a little civics lesson. It's their job. And Ms. Ford was given every opportunity to say everything she possibly could say. So now it's time to vote. It's almost crunch time, as you say there. Jason Chaffetz, thank you, sir, for coming back today. Thanks. Sandra was